Hi everybody, it's Cynthia and I'm here with a new haul video, kind of again something a little bit unusual for us, but I'm going to explain to you why I grabbed it, because it was also a little more than I like to pay, but instead of just getting one thing, I got a bunch of things. And what often happens, did happen in that what I thought was the big seller in the bag, there was actually some other items that might be even better. So we were at Salvation Army, and this is what I saw. So there was a bag of, oh wow, a lot of glare on that. There was a bag of die-cast cars. This truck was in there. It was in pieces, but I made sure both pieces were in there. Let me show you the other side because it's different. So it's Walt Disney World on this side and Disneyland on the other side. And it's in pretty good shape. It looks really good. It's obviously not in its box, but the paint looks good. There's nothing broken. There doesn't appear to be anything missing. It's got a little back door here that comes down, which I can't get it to do, but doesn't matter. So this was the reason I grabbed it. I looked this up and saw that these trucks sell anywhere in the $10 to $25 depending. Now what's unusual about it is this particular style, there's none of these up right now. There's a lot of trucks in this line. I guess they did a different one maybe every year with a different graphic on this side. And this one that says, this one, some of them actually have a graphic on the top too that says Disney and Walt Disney World. This one doesn't. So this one's a little bit different, which I'm hoping will work in my favor. The last one of this particular truck didn't sell for a ton of money, but other ones very similar to it did. And there are a lot of them in box. This one isn't, but I think I can still probably do, gosh, we should hit at least 14 on it. And I'm thinking maybe 25 if it's as unusual as I think it is. And I think I just saw one little piece that needs to be fixed, but my husband's model builder will figure that out. So the other thing that came in the box, in the bag with that, so the bag was $6, and it was loaded with die-cast cars. I'm going to show you each of them. I'm going to get closer so you can see, and explain to you what I found out about each one. Now, the majority of these are Hot Wheels, and Mattel is kind enough, you're probably not going to get that on the screen, Mattel is kind enough to mark Hot Wheels on the bottom and put years on a lot of the newer ones. Now, Hot Wheels cars can be extremely valuable. There's a lot of what they call red line cars, which have a red rim on the tire. This kind of looks like, see where the copper is? There's ones with red, and those are the older cars, and they tend to, some of those sell for insane amounts of money. But your average Hot Wheel cars don't have a lot of value by themselves, but older ones, you know, there's always some rare ones in the bunch, and generally people do seem to like to pick them up. These are not in the best shape. You can see the plastic on this is a little mangled up. So this is actually, I think, an older, if I can get it, it's a different Hot Wheels. To me, that's the older logo that looks like it's in a flame. So that one I don't know anything about that one. The red one that I showed you, these are all generic. Now, this one, Fallen, took me forever to figure out that that's what it said. This line, there's actually some from this line that sell better than others. And now, again, when I say better, I'm talking about maybe $10 instead of $2. Again, depending on condition and everything else. This particular one is a wild card. I saw some that sold pretty well and some that didn't sell that great. This is the Hot Wheels. Okay, so this one, this Trans Am, is not a Hot Wheels. This is an Ertl. How you pronounce it? I don't know if you're gonna get that on the camera. Let's see if I can get it to focus better. Maybe not. I think this might be the Smokey and the Bandit car because it looks like there was some writing on the door, and I think the Smokey and the Bandit tie-in car had the word Bandit on the door. And the doors do open, which I don't think they do in Hot Wheels cars usually. So, again, not in its package, so the value is not huge, but it's a nice little Trans Am for somebody who's into Trans Am. This is another, just a little, I don't know, Range Rover. I don't know my cars, so that's not, I can't tell you a lot about those. And then, hang on, I want to show you some specific things. Oh, this one is an older one. So this one, if you can see the front, Ford Bronco. This is a 70s, I think it says on the bottom, or 80s. I think this is a 1980s one. Look at the motorcycle on the back. Isn't that fun? So this one actually has a little bit more value. Again, I wish the condition was a little better, but by itself, this one actually will sell by itself. I'm probably going to lot most of these together, but that one will sell by itself. This is another really cool one. This is a street rod. Now, this one has the Confederate flag on the top, and I know there's new rulings about selling Confederate flag items, and I have to check into that on eBay because I literally might not be able to sell this on eBay with that Confederate flag. But it's a cool little car, and, you know, it's got some value to somebody, I'm sure. This, I think, is the one I was confusing. This is another little van that has that Ford Bronco. I might have been confusing with this one. This one actually has a little more value. Again, the graphics sadly are not in the best shape, but see how it's got this kind of, I don't know, it reminds me of the mobiles in UFO. It reminds me of the little vehicles that go out to look for the UFOs on Earth. It's kind of spacey looking. I don't know why. So this one's got a little bit more value when I looked that one up. Again, I don't remember the names of the cars, so I wish I did. So here's what happened, though. When I was looking at the cars in the bag, because I couldn't get them out of the bag, there were two other things I spotted that I thought are going to be of value, including the Disney, in addition to the Disney. One was this. So this little fellow, you can see, very old school. It's just a cast metal body with some funky little wheels. This, it turns out, is a Tootsie toy. It does say in here somewhere, again, the camera's not going to pick it up. It's really small. So again, a much more vintage car. It's got a Mercedes logo on the front. And I figured this had to have some value because it is pre-Hot Wheels, I assumed, unless it was a repop. But I don't think it is. So the funny thing about these is some of these Tootsie Toys, again, go for good money, like $25 or more. Some of them don't. This particular car has sold for $1 or $2, and it sold for $20. So I guess condition, mood, who knows why. But I think this car alone should get me my money back on everything, and everything else should be profit. The other car that I spotted that I thought was going to be something was this. I saw that in the bottom. So that is a slot car, which runs on a track instead of a regular. So it's not a die cast, it's a plastic car. This one, it's a police car. And I couldn't read, it does say Matchbox Speed Track. So this one is Matchbox Company, and this car, oh, it's got some little window issues in the back. Again, this car, because it's a slot car, does fairly well sometimes on its own in the $10 range. That little window could be an issue for us. Like I said, my husband might be able to fix it. That's what he does for a living, is build models. So slot cars in general are usually a good buy. The final cars in here, oh, there was one of these, which I also recognize. This is a die cast from Disney's Cars. This doesn't have a lot of value on its own. If I hang on to it and I find more of these, then it would definitely be better to group. So there were 3 cars in here that I thought were junk. They weren't Matchbox, they weren't Ertl, they weren't Hot Wheels, and ironically, they're all yellow. They are not from the same company, though, even though they look, oh my gosh, that's so weird. Just notice they're all yellow and green, but they're from different companies. So this one is called a Chevy Sidestep by Zilmax. And again, except for the fact that the decals are in rough shape, these Zilmax cars actually have some value. I would have thought it was some junk toy manufacturer that, you know, nobody cared about. But again, I saw some of these Zilmax cars selling in the $10, $12 range. Again, not saying necessarily this one, but this company is not junk. So it's like Zilmax. And then this one, I cannot figure out at all. There is a logo, and I'd probably not be able to get it. Maybe you can see it there. There is some kind of logo on the bottom. I'm going to need a better magnifying glass to tell what it is. But the fact that it's only the front of a semi is probably not going to have a lot of value on its own. I'm definitely going to include this in the lot. This was the real surprise. This was a company called Kidco, which sounds so generically dumb that I thought this has got to be just, again, a junk car that you get at the 99-cent store. Turns out not. Turns out that Kidco actually was the company that made a lot of tie-in vehicles, particularly the vehicles for the TV show MASH. And you can see this is sort of Jeep-like. And some movie tie-in cars as well. I don't think this is. I think this is from a more generic line of theirs. But the fact that there is actually value to Kidco cars completely blew me away. If you said to me you got to throw out one car from this lot that has no value, I would have thought it would have been this one. Well, truthfully, I would have thought it'd be this one just because it's missing its back truck. But it's a good shape. This one's in really good shape, and again, it apparently has some value. So I bought all these cars. I did my one non-car thing. If I can try to show you here. I also found this. This is not cute. Let me get out of the way there. Look at that. Moana. Duffel bag. Not full, so there. And it came from the Disney, the credit union, the Disney Partners Credit Union. So that means that, I believe that means that only employees could get it because you have to be a member of the Disney Credit Union. So cute. It's just a big fluffy duffel bag. And it was originally $2.95 at Salvation Army, but they were having half price on purses and clothes and accessories, and at first he said no, that's not included, but then look at that, it says handbags, purses on it, so he gave it to me for half price. So I got that for about $1.50. Adorable Moana duffel bag for $1.50. So that's all I'm going to show you today. Lots and lots of cars. My big, let's hope this is the biggie on Disney. I never do show you guys the I don't usually do a sale, what's sold video. If you are interested in those, let me know in the comments below and I'll start doing those as well. In the meantime, I just like to show you my hauls. So off to Disneyland we go. See you later.